King Hezekiah was a righteous king of Judah. He inherited a kingdom steeped in idolatry and spiritual decay. Hezekiah yearned to restore his people to the one true God. He knew that the key to national revival lay in reviving their spiritual heritage. What better way to do that than to celebrate Passover? Passover was not just a historical event. It was the annual festival commemorating God's deliverance of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Passover was a time of remembrance, reflection and rejoicing. It was a time for families to gather, to share the Passover meal and to tell the story of God's faithfulness to future generations. It was a time for the nation to come together and reaffirm their covenant with God. Hezekiah knew that if he could lead his people in a genuine celebration of Passover, it could be a turning point for the entire nation. But there was a problem. The Passover was to be celebrated in the first month, Nisan, according to God's law. However, due to years of neglect, the people were not prepared. The priests were not ceremonially clean. The temple, the designated place of worship, was in disrepair. The people themselves were scattered and distant from God. Hezekiah was faced with a dilemma. Should he postpone the Passover until the following year? This would give them time to prepare, but it would also mean missing a crucial opportunity to turn the nation back to God. Hezekiah was a man of action and faith. He decided to act boldly. He decided to celebrate Passover, even if it meant doing it a month late. Hezekiah sent out messengers throughout the land. They carried a proclamation far and wide. He invited all the Israelites, not just those in Judah, to come to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. This was an unprecedented move. The kingdom had been divided for generations. The northern kingdom of Israel had long been hostile to Judah. Yet Hezekiah extended a hand of fellowship to his estranged brethren. He longed for national unity, a unity that could only be found in their shared faith in God. Hezekiah's invitation was a testament to his faith and his courage. He was willing to risk rejection and even ridicule for the sake of unity and spiritual revival. The response to Hezekiah's invitation was mixed. Some people scoffed and mocked. They had long abandoned the God of their fathers. They saw no need to travel to Jerusalem for a festival they no longer valued. Others, however, were deeply moved. They had never forgotten the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. They had longed for a return to the faith of their ancestors. They saw Hezekiah's invitation as a sign of hope, a chance to make things right with God. From all corners of the land, people began to make their way to Jerusalem. They came from the towns and villages of Judah. They even came from the northern kingdom, defying the skepticism of their neighbors. Section 5. Preparing hearts and minds. Upon arriving in Jerusalem, the people joined hands in a massive effort to prepare for the Passover. They cleared the debris from the temple. They removed the pagan altars that had been erected throughout the land. The priests cleansed themselves according to the law. The Levites, the assistants to the priests, helped to organize the celebration. The entire city was abuzz with activity. There was a sense of urgency and excitement in the air. It was as if the people knew that they were participating in something truly special, something that would have a lasting impact on their lives and the life of their nation. Finally, the day of the Passover arrived. The people gathered in the courtyard of the temple. They listened attentively as the priests read from the book of the law. They offered sacrifices to God, confessing their sins and asking for his forgiveness. Then they shared the Passover meal, eating the unleavened bread and the bitter herbs, symbols of their ancestors' flight from Egypt. King Hezekiah himself led the people in prayer. He prayed for God's mercy and forgiveness. He prayed for national unity and spiritual renewal. His prayer was heartfelt and sincere, reflecting the genuine repentance of the people. The Passover celebration was a resounding success. It was a time of great joy and spiritual renewal. The people left Jerusalem with their hearts full of gratitude and their spirits revived. The celebration was so powerful, so deeply moving, that Hezekiah and the people decided to extend it. They celebrated for another 7 days, making it a total of 14 days of feasting, prayer and rejoicing. During this extended celebration, Hezekiah and the leaders of the community generously provided sacrifices for the people. They understood that not everyone had the means to offer the required sacrifices. Their generosity ensured that everyone could participate fully in the celebration. This act of generosity was not just about providing material resources. It was about expressing their gratitude to God and their unity with one another. The impact of Hezekiah's Passover celebration was nothing short of transformative. It marked a turning point in the history of Judah. The people experienced a spiritual awakening. They turned away from their idols and returned to the one true God. This spiritual revival led to a period of national renewal. The people were united as never before. They worked together to rebuild their nation, both physically and spiritually. The Passover celebration reminded them of their shared heritage, their common faith, and their collective responsibility to live according to God's laws. Hezekiah's Passover celebration serves as a powerful reminder for us today. It reminds us of the importance of remembering our spiritual heritage. It reminds us of the power of unity and the need for forgiveness. It reminds us that true revival begins with a return to God. Hezekiah's story, recorded in 2 Chronicles 29-31, is a testament to the power of one man's obedience and faith to make a difference. It's a timeless narrative of spiritual awakening and national restoration. It's a story that continues to inspire and challenge us today.